Hello everyone and welcome to the Alliance live show number 89. We're getting ready to rock and roll here. We've got an awesome blast of a cast here tonight for us to kind of dive in to this interesting news of the HK-47 and Dark Bastila reworks. So we're going to go ahead and discuss this stuff right now for you. But first and foremost, I'm going to introduce my co-host and good friend, good old Maurice. How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Very good. Excited for this Monday. I was feeling very under the weather over the weekend, so we had to hold off till today. I slept in last night. I couldn't do it, so I apologize for you guys. I couldn't man up to do the live show, but you know, we're able. I'm glad we did wait because now we have some more things to discuss. You know, we have an interesting development here today with these reworks. I want to kind of discuss what they mean for droids with HK-47 and also for Sith with Dark Bastila. But also joining us today is Avinash. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you. And we're also joined by the hostess with the Moses, you know, Ranger Danger, RangerJ1999. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm here. I'm in my final week of school, and I'm trying to get these last... I have 3 projects left in my college career. I have these last 2 PowerPoints and then a paper to do, and then I will be a college graduate. So if I'm in and out, I apologize because, well, then, you know, I'm trying to do 2-3 things a month at once. But this is a little important to cover, so I figured I'd hop on. I was kind of just sitting here with the Discord open. All of a sudden, get the ring. I'm like, hello. Oh, hi. Well, hello there.
Well, I think that Ranger will give us one of his, you know, maybe or 2 of his rants at some point throughout the stream.
No,
so sure.
no, we're not going to get rants tonight.
We're doing it. We're getting a rant, and I hope we do. I'd be disappointed. I think everybody would be, but yeah, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so we're going to keep the stream at around like an hour tonight because, you know, that's just better for viewability, and I feel like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into HK-47 first. Let me go ahead and pull up the character on screen so we have him to look at in all his pretty self.
You really don't need to pull him up because he is nowhere near the same character. He's completely different. Goodbye days of droid synergy. That's pretty much gone. You know, everyone was complaining about Grievous. The droids suck. And they didn't realize that putting these droids underneath HK caused just like a machine gun style offense. And it was phenomenal. So HK did kind of need to change, I guess. I'm not happy about it because my entire droid faction is crit chance based. But you know, time of changing. No more droid synergy.
Well,
yeah.
The thought process behind that and what a lot of people are saying is that they think that his leader ability originally was OP. And, I mean, I kind of see it because, I mean, 50% turn meter on a crit is a lot. But it's the only thing that the droids had, right? Because,
right, exactly.
Because... You know, I understand. I mean, like, listen, if you gave 50% crit to like Darth Traya, again, I'm getting like an echo on my voice. So if somebody has the mic on, or like the speaker on, just lower the volume, or, but yeah, basically, you know, if that you gave that to, let's say, Traya or, you know, Revan or, you know, one of the meta leaders out there right now, then yeah, I would say for sure. It's kind of an OP, you know, statistic to add, or an OP ability to add to leader ability. But being that the droids really had nothing else, they don't have like juiced up offense. They don't have, you know, any of the crazy debuffs on their side. They don't have turn meter manipulation. Like, they don't take away turn meter from their opponents. They don't have any protection. Really, they're very squishy characters. They don't have any foresight. They don't have any of these benefits that a lot of the, you know, the major mainstream kits have today, because we're still kind of operating in, 2016, 2017 kits with most of the droids. So yeah, I mean, taking away this is a huge blow to anybody that wants to run, an HK-47 lead with droids. I mean, now, I'm sure Urzatron is happy because Lobot is now the best leader for droids on the scene.
Lobot.
He is.
It's great.
It's crazy. I mean, let's look at what he actually did get, though. So, let's see if this will even help the Sith. Now, he's going to have still the droid tag, but he's also going to be getting the Sith Empire tag, and that's something else I want to talk about in a few minutes when we get to Bast a little bit. His basic attack, he's going to deal physical damage to target enemy and gain offense up for 2 turns, and this attack has 30% critical damage against debuff enemies. So he's going to do more damage on his basic, basically. His special attack, Havoc, is going to have a 3-turn cooldown, deal true damage, which ignores defense and can't critical hit to all enemies, half that amount in additional time for each debuffed enemy, then inflict tenacity down on all enemies for 2 turns. This attack deals 20% more damage for each Jedi enemy and can't be countered. So, as long, being that everybody's going to be running Revan, you're not going to be facing many Jedi. You're going to be facing all other Revans. So, I mean, it's going to be, maybe for a little while, if there are people that don't get Darth Revan. But I think, the majority of the people you're going to be facing in the top 20, top 30 are going to have Darth Revan. So it's going to be Darth Revan versus Darth Revan. So these abilities that are all anti-Jedi are going to be meaningless.
I don't think people really grasp how overpowered AoE Tenacity Down is. AoE Tenacity Down is not a potency-based roll. It's just going to land. So now then you have Tenacity Down that will cancel out the Tenacity Up, but that the Jedi thrive on. So you can no longer resist debuffs with the Jedi.
Right.
AoE Tenacity Down is arguably the most overpowered thing in the entire game. This is if you guys got HK, you got hooked up for that move alone. Just AoE Tenacity Down for 2 turns.
Well, that's going to work in a raid too. So I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
That's insane.
Yeah. And this attack deals 20% more damage for each Jedi enemy and can't be countered. So if you're facing a Revan team, a Jedi Knight Revan team, and you have 5 Jedis, you're going to get 100% more damage, and they can't counterattack. So that's interesting. His second special, which is Assassination Protocol, will dispel all buffs on target enemy, then deal physical damage to that enemy. This attack can't be evaded and deals 100% more damage against Jedi. If the target enemy has Death Mark or Fear, this ability's cooldown is reset. So that's pretty interesting. This ability starts on cooldown and its cooldown is reduced by 1 when an enemy is inflicted with Fear. So there's also a unique that kind of offsets that later on. His leader ability now, instead of the turn meter on a crit for droids, is droid allies have plus 30% critical chance, plus 20% critical damage, and gain 10% turn meter on a critical hit. 10% turn meter from 50 is a huge nerf. I don't care about the crit chance or crit damage. So we will be resetting and returning all the ability materials that were used on HK-47's leader ability. So at least they're going to give everybody back the Omegas. But that's still disappointing. His unique self-reconstruction. When a buff expires on an enemy, HK-47 recovers 5% health and 5% protection. When HK-47 uses an ability during his turn, it deals 25% more damage if the target has Death Mark or Fear. Okay, at least that's finally something that's not just based around being a Jedi enemy. Now, Loyalty to the Maker is his second unique, which is, again, another Zeta. And if HK-47's leader is Darth Revan, HK-47 has the following: plus 50% defense, offense, potency, and tenacity, plus 30% critical avoidance for each Jedi enemy. Cooldown of Assassination Protocol is reset the first time another Sith Empire ally is defeated. Enemies with protection up can't gain bonus turn meter. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's just like a whole new character. I take it that none of the abilities, he's not going to be able to revive anymore?
No. No more revive for HK.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need it.
No, well, I don't know. It's just...
It was kind of a corny revive anyway. He just really gets like one more chance to, like, you know, he's pretty much dead
to
anyway.
die? One more chance to die.
He's just not going to die now. Like when a buff expires on an enemy, you're facing a Jedi Knight Revan team with literally, 60 buffs. Every time a single one of those disappears, gets dispelled, naturally expires, he's going to get 5% health and 5% protection.
Oh, man.
He's going to have plus 50% defense, offense, potency, and tenacity.
Holy crap.
While Revan is leader. And plus 30% critical avoidance for Jedi enemies. And, yeah, I mean, it's pretty, it looks pretty sick, again, with the exception of the nerf to his leader ability, HK is definitely getting, revitalized for the good here overall. I mean, his overhaul definitely benefits this Sith Empire squad.
Right.
Now,
Well, somebody just asked if Night Sisters are going to be good against Revan. And the answer is not a chance.
no.
You got this. You got this recovery. And we'll get to Bastila in a minute. But with Revan's the leader, I think Bastila gives something ridiculous like 75% health steal to the both of them. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I don't think anybody's going to be good against Revan the way this looks. I mean, of course that'll be. I'm wrong.
Right.
I mean, people will figure something out. The players at this game are too good at the mathematics and the kits to not figure out a counter. But I'm just saying it's.
Droideka.
Yeah,
Droideka is the glaring counter thus far.
Yeah.
But
you can't crit. So you don't know to crit him.
But no, he looks OP.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's good to repurpose a character. Don't get me wrong. This is great. I mean, I'm for all of us that are, kind of secretly, kind of like just dreaming for, that day where you can run some droids again. This is kind of a blow.
That was my secret.
Well,
desire.
for now, I mean, we still don't know what other stuff is still coming in the game.
Well, Grievous came out. He sucks.
That was their chance. That it didn't work out. They dropped the ball there. That could have been the team.
IG-86 is the last hope. Fix
Not
IG-86.
really, no.
IG-86.
But I mean, we don't know what's in the future, so we don't. Losing HK-47. I mean, we're not losing him for one. He's changing because he's going to be working under Darth Revan, which makes total sense because that's his boy. Those two go. I mean, those two are interlocked more than any. That's like R2 and C-3PO. I mean, it is what it is. And it just like, I think HK's going to have that synergy like BB-8 had with JTR. It has with BBR. So they had to rework him. It had to make sense with Darth Revan. He loses his leader with the droid, but honestly, I haven't touched HK-47 since the Tiny Grimes days. So, I mean, he's okay. There's a reason why nobody uses him in Territory Wars or Grand Arena or anywhere because his leaders, if they're saying it's OP, I'd like to know what the hell they're talking about. If it's so OP, then how come nobody uses him anywhere? Anywhere.
Because his kit, as of like, if you look in your game right now, his kit's arguably one of the worst in the entire game. It's just the leadership.
Right.
I mean,
but even his leadership
is slightly useful. Like Rex has tenacity up, some turn meter removal on his HK sucks. 25% chance to land, a bunch of garbage debuffs. Yeah.
Against most of the teams that have crit immunity and tenacity and stuff, I mean, it's just so the fact that he's going to rework, and I like the rework, he's going to go on the Darth Revan team, and so You know, I'm glad to see that they're doing something with these characters. That at least they're trying. At least they try with General Grievous. They kicked the pooch, but I mean, they tried, and they've been doing a lot of reworks of late, and they're hitting and missing, and that's going to happen. But yeah, I think HK is cool, and now we don't know the dynamic yet. I mean, again, we're looking at this at paper, but Kit looks pretty cool. Again, until we get our grubby paws on it and see how it plays out, we don't know a damn thing. So, I mean, if I was to give this, I would give this a. There's nothing unique about it. It's just some cool stuff that they added. They've updated some of the stuff with what's out now to make it more effective. So I give this a B+ until I see it more.
Yeah.
You know, it's not A material, but he's not the A character Darth Revan is. So we'll see what happens.
Well, he's getting a new ability, right? Also, so he's going to have another attack now.
Right.
So we're going to see a new animation for him too, and hopefully they spruce him up a little bit. I mean, again, you know, I kind of agree with Ranger in that, you know, aside from the negatives for the droids, which, I mean, not everybody, you know, has an affinity for droids.
No,
it's what HK should be. I mean, he is supposed to be, you know. When he came into this game, or, you know, when you saw HK in this game, you knew that eventually there would be a Revan, because that just kind of indicates. I mean, they're basically like you know, they're basically like tied at the hip. I mean, so if now that Darth Revan is here, HK should be with his partner. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. He should have more of a synergy with Revan than anybody else.
Well, even if you're not getting Revan, you should seriously consider this character. I'm not sure if Sith Empire is gonna, you know, kind of work with the Sith, just the plain Sith. I don't know, but I mean, you're getting an AOE tenacity down, which will allow you to use Palpatine, to use Vader, to use characters you already have against teams like Revan, against tenacity up comps like Rex. I mean, this is that's a very, very good move. He's easily accessible. He's in the arena store. Not too terribly difficult to gear. You know, probably around average. Takes a lot of furnaces, a few carbonies, but not terrible. So I mean, this is a good rework for everyone, regardless of if you get Revan or not. I think.
Agreed.
I like it.
Agreed. Now let's move on to Dark Bastila, and this is where we'll discuss the Sith Empire tag. So Bastila's going to be losing the Old Republic tag, and she's going to be gaining an additional tag called Sith Empire, just like HK will have. Now, she's still going to have the Sith tag as well, which means that she will still work with Traya and Palpatine and Sidious and all the rest of the Sith. What I'm wondering is, will Revan also have both tags? Okay,
yes.
Because if he has only a Sith Empire tag, then that means that characters like Traya, Nihilus, Scion, Palpatine, all the Sith will no longer be... You won't be able to use them in a team with Darth Revan. And that kind of makes me upset.
Right.
Well, I think he's going to get both Sith Empire and Sith.
I hope so, but I feel like why would they create the Sith Empire tag other than to separate the ability to team up Sith?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
The only reason they're creating the Sith Empire tag is so that you can't bunch together characters that they don't want you to, right? So, I feel like this is a way to make it so you're forced to use certain characters with Darth Revan. Like, you're not going to be able to use Revan, let's say, as a support character in a Traya team. Or you won't be able to use Revan... you won't be able to use Traya with Revan on Revan's team. Like, I think that it's going to be where you're going to have to use, like, Sith Empire faction characters. Kind of like right now you're forced to use, like, Droideka with General Grievous. Like, you know, you can't really use the other droids with Grievous because his leader ability does nothing for them.
Well, so the Revan, whatever Bastila's getting, Revan's getting. So Sith Empire, Sith, same thing, same distinction. Sith Empire is just from the Old Republic timeline. You know, instead of just there being the rule of two, there was a great Sith Empire once upon a time with a bunch of Sith running around with lightsabers, killing themselves and the Jedi. They just couldn't decide who they hated more. But he's going to get both tags, so you will be able to use him. I do agree with you on the synergy, because that's the direction this game is going. Is that teams have synergy, and this mismatch of remember back in the day when we had all those different
Royal Guard, Captain Phasma,
oh my god,
oh yeah,
oh babe.
I am willing to bet that let me see, we got a donation here from Thane Kyrell. He wants to know, will the next meta be the Eternal Thorn faction?
That is awful. He can't even spell it right. It's supposed to be Throne. You put Thorn. Good job, Thane Kyrell. High school called us and didn't want you back. But he snuck that in just for me. Damn it. But no, he's gonna get both. I wouldn't worry about that, and I think he will have synergy with the Sith.
I think his leader ability and all of his abilities are slammed up with Sith Empire. I think it's going to be like, if Sith Empire characters are, on the team, they get this bonus. His leader, there's going to be nothing about Sith in there. It's going to be all just Sith Empire faction. And
if we look at Jedi, version of said Revan, it says Jedi and Old Republic allies. It doesn't say just Jedi. So I think you're going to be able to use it with both, because it makes sense. It's going to say at the start of the battle, whatever his leader is, it'll say Sith and Sith Empire allies. I guarantee that's what it's going to say, with whatever they put in there for his leader, whatever they're going to give him and stuff. So you'll be able to use them with the Sith, and you'll be able to use them with the Old Republic. You can use Revan with the Old Republic characters.
Yeah.
And they get the bonuses and all the fun stuff that comes with it. It just sits better with Jedi. The question that I'm waiting for is, I'm going to try to gear as minimally as possible to beat this event. And it's going to take me 3 hours probably, but is because I want to see what the synergy is going to be more inclined with. For Revan, it turned out to be the Jedi. For Darth Revan, will it be Sith? We don't know yet. So we have to kind of see. My guess is going to be, if I was to think of the team that this is probably going to be, right? I remember they had Bastila falling on there, and then I think they had Nihilus and Scion on there, with Mr. Piggy, a.k.a. Darth Revan. I think that's going to be the team, and that's why you're going to see that team on there, because they are going to have Sith tag, and you're going to be able to mix and match Darth Revan with the Sith, because he is the Sith. He is a Sith Lord. He is the Lord of the Sith, and conquering the galaxy and lightsabering the fools. That's what he does. Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting more down the line. Go with the true Revan, with both lightsabers in his hand. What they do with that Mo Preki. But for now, we deal with Darth Revan.
Well, Filippo Dante, thank you for the donation, by the way, asks, do you think Malik will be in the Guild Events store?
I still think he's going to be a legendary event. I mean, he is the big baddie from the end of KOTOR.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the final dude you face. You're going through all these journeys, and the story is kind of mirroring a little bit, and you can see it playing out from the KOTOR game. They're kind of following a little that same pathway. I think he's going to be a legendary. You're going to need all the characters, Darth Revan and the rest, Gear 12, and to get a Malik is going to be my guess for Malik. That it's going to be one of those. There's going to be one of those star and gear checks to unlock him, like a 3PO or a Chewbacca. But I do think he'll get in the game. They would not put him in the store. He's too good of a character for them to try to make money off of. And this game's about making money. Let's be real. And that would, if I was their marketing person, I'd be like, "Are you high? Are you crazy? You better put some packs out there for Malik and stuff."
Yeah, I'm sure he has to come. I kind of agree with Ranger. I feel like he's a little bit too big of a character to just be thrown in a store. But I mean, again, I don't know when they're going to circle back around to more Old Republic characters, but there is always next February. You know, next March. You know, they do one every year, so I mean, they have to have somebody for next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, many moons ago, they did hint at putting another character into, you know, the Guild of some other sort of shop. Yeah, I don't think it will be Malik, but that's we might be getting somebody else in there.
Right. Right. Could be another person. I think we'll probably get somebody eventually in the Guild Event store, but I don't know if it'll be Malik. I think that's a little bit too cool of a character to kind of give away for free like that. I think they're going to want to put it behind an event. But we'll see. Let's take a look at her rework here a little bit. So her basic attack, Sith Assault, will deal special damage to target enemy and inflict ability block for 1 turn. This attack deals 10% more damage and has 10% crit chance for each Sith ally. Wild Lightning is her special attack, which is deal special damage to target enemy and shock them for 3 turns. If the target already had shock, deal bonus special damage to all enemies. This bonus damage can't be countered. This ability can't be evaded. That seems pretty cool, actually. Her second special, Fear. Now, this is a new one here. Inflict fear on target enemy and another random enemy for 1 turn, which cannot be copied or dispelled. When each of these fears expire, inflict offense down, critical damage down, evasion down, speed down, expose, and stagger for 2 turns. These effects can't be resisted. All other enemies are inflicted with offense down, critical damage down, evasion down, speed down, expose, and stagger for 2 turns. Wow. Fear is miss the next turn, can't use abilities, can't evade, increase cooldowns by 1, and fear expires on taking damage from an attack. Fear is ridiculous. Fear is ridiculous.
And let's not forget that all the characters are going to be inflicted with nasty down, so all these debuffs are going to stay.
Miss the next turn. That's never existed in this game.
Right.
Just you know, it's like Uno. You know, just skip the next turn. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's really interesting. Yeah, it's another thing to factor in. I didn't. You know, that's a pretty cool ability. I mean, that means a lot. You know, it's a lot to theorycraft there. Okay, so. Her first unique is Corrupted Battle Meditation. At the start of Bastila's turn, all enemies lose 3% turn meter, doubled against non-Jedi and non-Sith, and are inflicted with Corrupted Battle Meditation for 1 turn. Then Bastila recovers 1% protection for each debuff on enemies. Corrupted Battle Meditation, minus 30% crit chance, 30% counter chance, doubled against non-Jedi Sith, and Corrupted Battle Meditation can't be dispelled. Wow. That's the change there. I think Corrupted Battle Meditation could be dispelled before, now it can't. Her second unique, Sith Apprentice, Bastila and the character in the leader slot have plus 50% defense, potency, and tenacity, and gain foresight for 1 turn at the start of the battle. If Bastila's leader is another Sith, whenever an enemy is inflicted with death mark, fear, marked, or shock, they both gain 5% offense, stacking up to 100% for the rest of the battle. This ability does not apply to characters in the ally slot. Then her third unique, which is a new unique entirely. If Darth Revan is in the leader slot, Bastila and Darth Revan have plus 70% max health and plus 70% health steal. Darth Revan also recovers protection from Corrupted Battle Meditation, and enemies inflicted with Corrupted Battle Meditation can't inflict debuffs on enemies when they use an ability, excludes raid bosses. If Jedi Knight Revan is on the enemy squad, Bastila gains advantage and foresight for 1 turn at the start of Jedi Knight Revan's turns. Wow. She's going to be ridiculous. I mean, you have no chance if you're Jedi Knight Revan against this team.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, definitely. That's what it sounds like. I'm like, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get my hands on them.
They're gunning for the meta. So for those of you that just got Jedi Knight Revan 3 weeks ago,
yeah. Sorry, guys.
Be or not to be.
For those of you that just got Jedi Knight Revan to Gear 12 this week, I'm sorry.
let's rub a little salt into the wound.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. That looks pretty intense. I mean, thoughts, guys?
Winning, I feel the dark.
Fear to me is the big thing here.
Right. Yeah, I'm so excited to try like so many, well, I can't say so many, but to try different things to see just how I can mix and match and play with the talents and all that stuff. I'm totally excited about this. I think even more so than Revan itself.
Revan hurt my soul, Jedi Knight version.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bad girl anyway, so I like the dark side.
That's right. The dark side leads to smoking.
I think it's kind of boo-boo that corrupted battle meditation can't be dispelled, but the regular battle meditation on the light side Bastila can be removed.
Yeah.
So basically, what you do is render your Jedi are going to be countering, and your Jedi are going to be critting. Your Jedi are critting now because you're facing other Revan, but if you face other teams of Revan, they crit and they do big damage. Yoda popping skulls for 85k. No, not anymore. This is silly. So, and basically, you're going to land this on every single enemy because they're going to have tenacity down, right? They're going to have tenacity down, which is like -9, something ridiculous. Like so, they're going to be landing every time you're in that battle meditation that they can't get rid of. They won't be countering as much. They won't be critting as much. And then she's going to get 1% protection, just like she does now. But there's going to be way more debuffs from that fear. So she's going to be just regenerating protection like mad. This is silly.
This is going to be interesting. Yes, I'm stoked.
I'm excited. So I mean, this is kind of where I'm at right now. I have Bastila Gear 12, HK Gear 12. As soon as I get Karth to 7 stars, I'm 27 shards away. I'll have him at Gear 12, and then I'm 1 piece away. Well, I have the piece already for Juhani to be Gear 11. So I'll have when the event starts, I'll have Bastila, HK, Karth at Gear 12. I'll have Juhani at Gear 11, and then I'll have to probably... I could probably have Canderous Ordo at Gear 9, Gear 10. And I hope that that's enough to do it. But we'll see. I mean, the reworks aren't going to happen till after the event, most likely, is what we're hearing. I think that's what they said. So we're going to have to go in with the kits existing. So I'm assuming that I'm going to probably be running, a Karth lead. But again, I don't know. I'm hearing that the event's going to be difficult. So, I think that you're going to have the characters tuned pretty well. But the way these things work, these events work, it's typically not like if this is going to be a journey event, which, I mean, I don't think they've confirmed yet. I don't know if it's going to be a legendary or a journey. If it's a legendary, then it's going to be 5 characters the whole way through. If it's a journey, it could be, it could be like 2 characters, right? It could be like 3 characters at a time. I mean, we've had, we've had battles where it's just a couple of the characters in there to, to fight like a certain story mission, and the way it looks is just like it's going to be a journey because, I mean, if you look at the trailer kind of shows like him fighting, a Sith spirit. It shows him fighting what looks to me to be the Mandalore, from the story and kind of going through the story of Darth Revan. So if that's the case, it's probably going to be character specific per phase. So like you'll probably have a certain section where you're using Darth Bastila and Juhani, and a certain section where you're using Karth, and then you'll probably even have a part where you're actually using Darth Revan himself on your team. So I don't know how that'll work, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not too difficult.
I'm still saying Gear 10, Gear 9, Gear 10. I mean, when they say it's going to be more difficult than the previous journey, I think it's going to be a journey event. I mean, it is going to be a journey event. But, I mean, you could go on those other ones with, like, Gear 6.
Maybe well, let's be real,
so they're going to up into, like, 9 or 10, just so you have to spend some gear on these characters. But everyone's saying Gear 12. You're crazy.
No. But like, if the last event was the equivalent to the difficulty of like the Count Dooku hard note, right? It was super. This one, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Gear 9, be prepared to go up to Gear 11 is what.
I still think Gear 10. I mean, that's still going to make you have to use some gear, some other stuff like that, some stun guns. And I think, if you have good mods, Gear 10, you're going to be fine. But I highly recommend nobody do anything until we see it. We see the event. Let the whales go in there, do their thing, and then give you an assessment. When the event, I'm going to be, maybe not the first day. I'll still be farming to get the final pieces, but let's see how it plays out. I'm going to test it out. I said on the one stream today that I'm going to try it at 9. 9 doesn't work. 10, so it's going to be when you get to that tier 6, tier 7 fight that you're going to need to know what gear and stuff you're going to need for those.
Right.
So because 5 down, it's like you can go in there with nothing and you're going to win. So
right.
I think we'll know it's 6 or 7, maybe 7. They make it that gear check where it's like you got to be gear 10. Maybe it's some at 11. Certain characters with good mods to beat it.
Right.
Which is different. That's more difficult than the other ones and harder. So that's what I'm kind of thinking.
Now, word to the wise, okay, for those of you that are trying to pick, like, who you're going to gear up, try to think about who you're going to use after the event, okay? So Juhani and Canderous are probably going to be the least useful after this event is over. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to be useful. They probably will be because they're going to have an Old Republic tag, and maybe Revan will too. I don't know. But the most useful characters after this event are going to be Bastila, HK-47, and Carth Onassi. And Carth specifically because of his leader ability for the other Old Republic allies, and also because he's the ship captain for the Ebon Hawk. So you're getting a double bonus for leveling him up. You get another Gear 12 leader for the Old Republic, and then on top of that, you're getting bonuses for the ship as well. So and the Ebon Hawk is actually a really good ship. So there's definitely those 3 characters are the ones you want to focus on. That's why I'm putting the gear into them first, and then obviously if I have the ability to, I'll level up Juhani more and Canderous more because they may have some use afterwards, especially with, let's say, a Carth Onassi team. You know what I'm saying? But I'm assuming that the characters I'm going to be using in Arena after this are definitely going to be HK and Bastila, and then we'll have to see how the synergy works with, let's say, the other Sith, or how the Sith Empire tag works with Revan. We really won't know until the kit comes out. But that's what I'm saying. The safe bets right now, for sure, to get to Gear 12 at least, HK-47, Bastila, and Carth. Definitely can get them up there, and you won't be wasting your time at all. So, but yeah, I mean, if you don't want to, put the resources into Juhani or Canderous right away, like Ranger said, get them up to like a decent level. Make sure you continue to hoard gear, and then just kind of check out what what you see. I'll be streaming it live at 3 a.m. like I usually do for all these events. So,
how dare you?
So as soon as the event drops live, I'll be streaming it. So we'll see how hard it is, and check that out. See what other people are doing. See how how people are completing it, and then make your decision based on that. Bear in mind that you don't have to do it the first day of the event like I'm doing it either. You'll have probably an additional 7 or 8 days after that to get everything prepared. So even when the event drops, bear in mind you still have another week to get your characters leveled up. It's not going to be a one-day event, so you'll have time to work on it, even if you're not necessarily completely prepared day one. So, all right, let's move on to some meta. All right.
This will take a minute.
This will take 30 seconds. So, yeah. So actually, what's interesting is if you look at the top 10 leaders at rank 1, General Grievous is now on the list.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, there's only 17 General Grievouses at rank 1, but there are 17. Which is more than Emperor Palpatine actually right now, and Bastila.
Yeah, that's lower tier guys that bought this into the hype that have it.
There's more people. There's more people running. Would you believe 7 months ago or 8 months ago that there's more people running General Grievous at rank 1 right now, leader, than Emperor Palpatine.
Well, makes sense. Just because the other Sith leaders are really damn good. I mean, you got Traya. I mean, it doesn't shock me. You know, a lot of people are going to go with Traya before they go with Palpatine, and the only ones that go with Palpatine because they don't have Traya. You know, you see enough roster reviews, you're like, okay, I see why you're using Palpatine. You don't have Traya unlocked yet. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you're top 5 arena. Very nice. It depends on the shard, how old it is, how new it is. Wales, there's a lot of factors into that.
I mean, to run a
Grievous shocks me more than Palpatine does.
To run a Grievous at rank 1, you have to have some components. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you've spent some moolah.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's Revan. I mean, Revan's domination of the pie is next level domination right now. It's 87.
That's about to change, yeah.
8,744 Revans at rank 1. It's literally 90% people run Revan in arena at rank 1.
Right. You should take a screenshot of this and then keep it, and then do a side by side when Darth Revan starts.
We do
take over the pie.
We do that we do that every Wednesday on our show too.
Nice.
Yeah, we always show the previous report and place it against the new one, and you know, for the last however many months it's been Pac-Man Revan there eating everything. So
yep.
The final number I want to wait is not next week, but the week after. How many people got Darth Revan and how big of a chunk it takes?
Yeah.
Because that's gonna looking at these kits and stuff, I'm telling you folks, it's gonna be another when Jedi Knight Revan came out, it was a haves and have-nots. You could still do okay in arena, but man, was it crazy because there's people that had Jedi Revan, those that didn't, and you saw it in the meta report. It's going to be the same thing with Darth Revan.
If you're trying to run a Jedi Revan team in the top 20 after this drops, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Abby? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say that, you know, I'm personally, I mean, with this Jedi Knight Revan around here, I am so sick of looking at it because, you know, it's bad enough with people with like one account being able to, you know, get up there into the ranks and get your rank 1 and payouts and stuff. But I'm looking at doing at least 25 Revan battles a day.
Why you do that to yourself, girl?
It's crazy.
I know, I can't help it. But I'll tell you what, I've really learned a lot about Revan versus Revan.
Yeah.
And I do win most of my battles, and I've cut down the time by quite a bit, but still, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Hey,
but
Revan battle.
Yeah. There's a couple of moves that I do, and once I do that, if I can't do it on auto, then it's not worth doing. So
you can use Balcoon.
She's just doing it for fun. She's like, she's on a deserted island eating nothing but coconuts, and along comes a fish she finally gets. She's like, oh, I'll try.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's all right.
All right, now moving on to the top 10 squad members at rank 1. Really nothing to say here. Grandmaster Yoda, Revan, Bindo, Kenobi, Bastila. That's the meta. There's a couple of Sith there at the end, but that's about it. You know, Chewie and Hermit Yoda for those that want to mix it up a little bit for the Jedi. But really, that's pretty much it. Moving along to the ships. Or the fleet meta. Again, that also is relatively similar. You know, most people running Houndstooth, Millennium Falcon, Home One, and Biggs Dark Glider in their starting lineup. Not much changing behind them either, although there is an increase in use to Biston's U-Wing. I guess more people just finding uses out of that ship, and it's kind of moved up the list here to become the 5th most used ship in starting lineups at rank 1, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
much faster.
Yeah,
Biston is sweet in that beginning spot.
So a lot of people using Biston's ship. It's kind of on the rise. So if you're looking for another ship to, you know, kind of mix it up with, again, it's an investment in a character that really doesn't have any use elsewhere. But Biston's ship is a good ship.
That's what makes it so difficult to do the ship, is because you're dealing with a character who has like 10 seconds in a movie, and he's worthless basically in anything else, and you're having to gear him possibly up to 12.5, and you're like,
absolutely,
oh, this hurts. It hurts so bad. So, but how fast is the fastest? Isn't it like 153 or something?
Yeah, I think 153 with all the 3 left side pieces and maybe 9 or 10 6E mods on.
Yeah, I've got 152 is my highest.
Jeez, yeah, you're way. I think I got 151. Yeah.
Yeah, most of them are like 146 or 148, but that one in particular, I was like, "Ooh, look at that!" I didn't realize I had that.
My best.
I didn't know I could do that.
My Biston sits at the bottom of my inventory, and he stays there. But now we're going to move along to the reinforcements, and I was kind of hoping that we would get to see the Ebon Hawk on this list, but it didn't make it. So maybe next week, maybe never. Who knows? But I think it'll be up here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I have not used it at all yet.
It's actually a really fun ship. It's cool. I think it's definitely better than some of these ships here on the list as a reinforcement. Most people just have these ships already, and to suddenly just make a pivot, especially with all the stuff that's going on right now, people are saving for Revan. They're focused on the event. They're focused on these other characters right now. So, maybe making a pivot in the fleet arena right now, when if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So if it's working, people will continue to use it. I think as more people start to use the Ebon Hawk, you'll see other people kind of pick it up, because people will be passing along the word, hey, the Ebon Hawk works better than this ship, and so as more people get the ship leveled up, it's still in the store now, so people are still buying it, and as more people get it, I think it'll become a more useful ship. I definitely see it passing Slave 1 or the Xanadu Blood eventually as a better reinforcement ship.
Well, you got to have it at 5 stars too. So I imagine a lot of people unlock the ship, but I don't want to say very few, but a small portion of them actually got it up to the 5-star, because that required all 300 refreshes, possibly a 200 refresh. If you didn't buy that mod pack, it's a big investment. And then there's just the fact that everyone unlocked that Palpatine shuttle and realized, I just inflated my GP 40K for something I don't even use.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I haven't even unlocked it, which is I don't need that 40K GP boosting up my GP, just artificially inflating it. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
it's a terrible strategy, but
I understand what you're saying. All right, let's move along to the top 5 for this week. And this week we're doing
Top 5 support characters for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
So we're going to be looking at number 5 here. So Maurice,
who do we have at number 5?
Could you repeat yourself?
Please don't.
That was a joke. Yeah.
Who do we have at number 5?
Number 5 support character is Darth Revan. Why is she number 5? Why is she so low? Because she's a Sith-specific character. Just the amount of support she brings to that faction, though, is unrivaled. Just the take a turn, lose all your debuffs. That alone makes her a top 5 character in this category. Just all the other stuff she does, isolate. That with Thrawn's Fracture or Revan's Marker up there is, one of the 3 very best abilities in the entire game. Isolate's a great ability. She got days in the basic, all sorts of. She actually passes all the debuffs, just all sorts of mechanics in her kit that are very, very unique to her, and you don't see anywhere else in the game. And then, of course, the leadership, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think she'll actually, again, this all is based on whether or not we get some sort of a benefit with her and Revan together, but I think she'll actually increase here pretty soon too, because if Revan does have the Sith tag and there are benefits to having Trey on the team, I can't see why you wouldn't. She's going to be, a pretty hard hitter that can, inflict, isolate on an opponent. She'll be great against taunting teams. She'll also, possibly, again, depending on the tags, maybe she'll still be used as a leader with Revan as a character on the team. Again, I don't know if that's going to be better or not. I'm imagining that Revan as a leader is going to be the way to go. But
well, if nothing else, you could use her in the support slot, and just whenever you're like in the dark side, Darth Revan versus Darth Revan mirror matches, she will get rid of all that crap that Bastila lays around with her fear after it expires. They'll take their turn, and we'll all be gone. So that's something to consider. But ideally, for Grand Arena and TW, you probably want to still have your Traya squad and then your Revan squad, right? We'll see. It'll be very, very interesting to see what people do with this. There are a lot of Sith now. A lot of Sith. So this will be cool.
Dr. Gonzo doesn't want me to use the voice modulator anymore. What was it that bad? No. All right, number 4. All right, who do we have here?
Grand Master Yoda. And after reading Bastila's Kit and HK-47, he may be completely off the list next time we do this.
Lies you tell. Yes, well I am.
Just even outside of a Jedi squad, lots of utility, spreading buffs around, taking back-to-back turns, giving himself foresight, giving himself turn meter, just feeding all sorts of benefits to the team. What is it? Foresight if an enemy is above 50%, defense penetration up if it's below 50%, and you spam that to everybody. Just for spreading his foresight alone is pretty handy. And he is the meta. We just saw the meta report. He's on every team in my arena right now. And he's oddly labeled a support character. So, much like Traya, though, is kind of, does definitely boost the Jedi faction more than other factions, but good nonetheless. Big damage, of course. Big damage.
Well, yeah, he's big damage. He's obviously, he's a facilitator, man. He spreads foresight. He steals buffs, spreads buffs. He's, really, because of how much damage he does now, he could be considered, an attacker, but Grandmaster Yoda's always been really one of the better support characters in the game since he dropped. His ability to steal buffs is awesome. There's nobody else that really does that, and he could reduce turn meter. He's constantly gaining foresight, and the main thing about a support character is, what do they do for the rest of the team? And, he does a lot for the rest of the team by spreading those buffs to everyone else, keeping everybody protected with the foresight. He's kind of, the conductor of the orchestra back there, so he's got a lot of tools at his disposal that really help buff the rest of the team, and that's why he's on the list. But moving along to number 3, we have C-3PO. So C-3PO is on here because obviously, he's a fantastic support character. He doesn't do anything but support. Doesn't attack.
That is true.
Doesn't attack, can't hit you. But he does call in assist. He allows, rebel allies to expose on a basic attack, which is super awesome. His oh my goodness attack can call in, all allies to assist if everybody has what's the buff? Is it
translation?
Translation, right? What do you think about him?
He could arguably be number 1. Just because he boosts so many factions.
Right.
Like you mentioned, the rebels. He gives like defensive penetration to Galactic Republic allies. I don't remember what he does off the top of my head for resistance. And then he does all of his perks for the Ewoks. So you've got 4 pretty big factions. Rebels, I think, don't quote me, but I'm fairly certain it is still the largest faction in the game. Scoundrels might have caught up a little bit. He benefits probably 60 to 70 characters directly in the game, just with their faction tags. Just great. He stealths himself. He does do the translation, which will give you, crit chance, reduce your cooldowns. And he confuses enemies, which is important and prevents basically 2 stacks confused is basically like buff immunity and daze wrapped up into one. And then you get 3rd stack, which is tough to do in like an arena setting. But if you do get that, it will reduce or increase their cooldowns, I believe. So all sorts of support in this package. Not to mention the slight passive boosts that he gives to various factions as well, but similar to R2-D2 in the way he does that. So just very, very good. Pretty easy to mod. Does no damage. He is stealth a lot of the time, so you can just mod him for potency and speed. That's really all you need. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward on how to mod him. Just a very, very good character. And, I would think the masses probably have him at least 5-star now. So, and he is usable outside of the at 5-star. He broke the raid. He's so good. So,
yeah, he definitely could be, number 1. I think, in a lot of these lists, when you get to like rank 3, rank 2, they're all number 1 basically.
Yep.
Now let's move along to number 2. Who do we have here?
Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus still hanging in there tough. Pretty sure 1 and 2, they might have flip-flopped, but they're still the same. AoE cooldown increase, which is insane. And then, of course, Annihilate. Doesn't matter how much health you have, doesn't matter how much protection, doesn't matter if you have foresight. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you, if you're on a Jedi team and Jolie can bring you back, because Annihilate kills you for keeps. You can't be revived. Very, very useful in fighting these Jedi teams and fighting like a Night Sister team. Just, Dispel is basic. And then of course, now with the Triumvirate, he's got that massive stacking health. So he can be a real pain if you just let him sit there and sit there and sit there. He becomes almost invincible in some cases against some teams. They just can't kill him.
Yep.
Still hanging in there tough. Yeah, and he dispels with his basic attack, which is pretty ridiculous too. His leader ability leaves much to be desired, but the rest of his attacks are really pretty awesome. Again, he's not really the traditional support in that he doesn't really facilitate much other than the increase in cooldowns, but he does, with his unique, I believe, stick, is it health down on his opponents for every turn that they take. So
within Zeta, yeah.
So he's going to stick a lot of debuffs on the opposing team. So 3-dot mod, don't talk about my 3-dot mod.
Yeah, we don't talk about the mods.
I'm sure it has speed on it or something. It's probably just a mod that needs to be taken out, or that's a different loadout. I should probably.
For those of you that didn't know, actually, if you use 5 offense mods, it gives you even more offense than the 4-piece sets. Keep that in mind.
It does.
Yep.
It does. It's a special thing.
Fake news. Don't do that.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, really? Good. Maurice told me this. No. This is
if Maurice says it, it's got to be true.
No, well, people know better than that.
And now, the number 1 character, support character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah. Chopper. No, it's Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn. We know him, we love him. Fracture, which is insane, much like Isolate Betraya. These are 2 of the 3 best abilities in the game currently that might get trumped here shortly. And then, of course, the very, very valuable for Grand Arena, as you can swap turn meter with an enemy and give them 50% protection back, which is real good. Let's say you're beating down a team pretty well, but you got one character that's gotten hit a few times, like your tank. You can just swap turn meter to them, fill the protection bar back up, kill your opponent, get the max banners for your Grand Arena. It does decent damage. Not super impressive, but decent, because he does counter, and he will put the defense down when he counters. Defense down is an underrated debuff. It's very, very good. And then the leadership is, I would argue they're much, much better Empire leaders than him. I mean, pretty much all the Empire have a leadership of some sort. It is cool, though, when you use them as a leadership ability. It does give all your Empire allies an additional ability, which the Empire faction, much like the Sith, they really lack cleansing abilities. And if you do use Thrawn as a leader for your Empire, you do get like an ability that can cleanse your Empire characters. Everybody gets one, a new icon, much like an assault battle ability, or maybe some of those TB bonuses. Hot, S tier raid character, always going to be useful in the raid, regardless of what happens to him in like a PvP setting. Always will be a great PvE character. Very, very safe investment.
Bear in mind, I don't remod characters. So like when I modded Thrawn for the first time, these are still the same mods that he had on there from then. Like I don't use Thrawn for anything other than dark side territory battles and the occasional territory wars. But besides that, he's not really as useful as a character anymore. I probably gave him speed because I think the last time I used him, I was using him behind a Traya, as a 5th. So, but besides that, he is just a great overall utility character. I mean, in support, he does a lot of things that help the team. I mean, again, he gives turn meter and protection to an ally. He can dispel a taunter and basically render them useless with fracture. If you have him sped up, to the point where he can go and be one of the first characters to go, he can kind of set the tone of the match right at the start, especially if you're dealing against a team that has pre-taunt. His attacks do pretty good damage, and his leader ability is one of the better leader abilities in the Empire faction. And overall, he even adds his own debuff he adds his own special ability when he's a leader that clears debuffs. So again, he's just got a great all-around toolkit. On top of that, he's also the captain or the ship commander for a capital ship. So that's a huge thing. And yeah, I mean, he's just one of the best characters in the game, if not the best character in the game. And as far as support's concerned, he definitely does thrive in that role. But that's our number one. We do have a honorable mention, and somebody had mentioned it in the chat a little bit earlier. It's R2-D2. So
there you go, Bastila.
Yeah, our R2-D2 is definitely a great support character. Could Hermit Yoda be on the list somewhere here too? Sure. I mean, he's one of the better support characters, but I think you'd have to say that R2 does provide a little bit more benefits to more factions, right? So he helps out a lot, again, with the droids, Galactic Republic, Rebel, Resistance. He has the ability to basically passively taunt with his smoke screen. He stuns on his basic, and his unique number crunch is probably the best Zeta in the game, if not the second best Zeta in the game, behind It Binds All Things by CLS. So I think he's just a great all-around character, and somebody that you should have leveled up, to use in multiple different factions. And that's really the main benefit for having this guy, is that he can, pretty much work on every team.
Yeah, you can make a case he's top 5. I'm just, he's made so many lists because of his support ability. Just honestly, just got a little bored with him, so just throw in the honorable mention.
Yeah, and again, Hermit Yoda could be in another honorable mention for sure. I mean, Hermit Yoda has tons of support benefits. He basically calls in allies to assist. He boosts up their offense and health, and he heals the whole team. He heals himself. I mean, his basic attack is a heal. So I mean, it really helps out to have a character like that, especially for longer drawn out battles like territory battles and things like that. So he's great to have. But yeah, that's our top 5 support characters in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We're going to move back into some gameplay here. And while we do that, I believe Maurice has compiled a few questions. And if you guys have any other questions you'd like to ask, type them in now. Because, again, we're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon.
All right, let's see. DSP asks, can we get B1 to crit now? We talked about this, God, I don't remember which stream it was. We talked about this, though, but, you know, B1 came out, he can't crit, obviously because it would go berserk with an HK lead. And now, HK lead has been tweaked. No longer gets 50%, only 10% turn meter. Would be nice. Would be nice. He'd be a hell of a lot better, wouldn't he? But
Yeah.
probably not going to change, buddy, unfortunately.
Nope.
Smoke 311. Will HK work without Drebin?
I think no. No, but yes. No, I think he'll be... Again, it depends on what this Sith faction tag means. Are they going to give it to the other Sith? Does Sith faction tag work with Sith? I don't think so. I mean, the Sith Empire tag. So, will he be usable without him? Possibly. You know, maybe as like a 5th and like a Traya team. Again, it's going to depend because... even though he may not be getting bonuses from Traya, and he may not be treated like a Sith character, his kit is still pretty darn good alone. So, you know, he's not the fastest character, but, you know, I think overall, obviously, if you don't have a better option, I think he might be there. But do I think he's going to be, let's say, a better option than Darth Bastila as a 5th on a Sith team? No. And do I think he's going to be better now on a droid team than he was before? No. So I would say that his best bet or the best place to use him is going to be on a Darth Revan team for sure.
He'll be usable. He won't be like a top shelf character. But, you know, if you do gear him up early before you get Drebin, he'll be serviceable. Any character with AoE tenacity down is going to be good. That's why everyone uses Rex. You know, well, not the only reason, but a lot of people use Chirrut. A lot of people use Rex to have AoE tenacity up. I can't think of any other instance in the game with AoE tenacity down. A little disappointed to get the Old Republic tag because this new kit would be bonkers on a Karth lead, but maybe that's why they didn't give him. You know, that'd be kind of silly. AoE tenacity down so all of your dots can land 100% of the time. It'd be a little silly.
That's probably why he didn't get the Old Republic tag, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm prepared with Zetas too. I mean, I have... let's see here, 100 Zetas. So, I mean, I'm ready to give 2 Zetas to HK, Zetas to Bastila, and Zetas to Darth Revan. So, you know, whenever that time comes, I'm going to do it.
All right. May have already answered this earlier. I don't remember. Takedown Games. Thoughts on the Sith Empire?
Sith Empire tag?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've kind of discussed it at length so far. I mean, I don't know what it means. I kind of feel, like I mentioned to Ranger earlier, that it's an indicator that they're going to basically try to make it so that you're going to have to use certain characters with Darth Revan and that you won't be able to just kind of, you know, use any, you know, Sith characters with him. And I hope that's not the case. I mean, I hope Revan has... Sith bonuses, and you know, I hope that he's both marked as a Sith and a Sith Empire character, but we'll just kind of have to wait till his kit comes out to see. My thoughts are, I think it's a bad thing right now.
Yeah, I think Ranger made a good point earlier that Darth Revan's leadership will get kind of bonus for both, much like, you know, Lightside Revan like gets a double bonus from, you know, Bastila and Jolie because they're both Jedi and Old Republic. I think that was a good point. Oh, get the tutorials, huh? Get the tutorials.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Ranger?
I said I'm smart.
Indeed, sir. I accidentally deleted this question. I apologize who asked it, I don't know, but asked if we're not getting Revan, how screwed are we?
I think pretty screwed.
I was going to say the same thing. Pretty screwed, I think. At least the way the kit reads. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting.
You're going to be equally as screwed as if you didn't get Revan the first time, right?
Yep.
The power creep. You guys got through it for the first time. You didn't get Revan. You got it the second time. You made it through the hard part. It'll be no different here. Somebody will come up with a counter. There are tons of counters to Revan that don't include Revan. Somebody will come up with something. Maybe it'll be Grievous.
There'll also be the event will also come back soon. I mean, people thought that the Revan event wasn't going to come back forever. You know, it came back in like 3 months. Yeah, I mean, so it's not going to be that crazy.
All right, Bastila. How many people played KOTOR before playing SWGOH? I never did, so these characters do not provide any nostalgia to me. For me, sorry.
I have never played it. I have it now. I have both 1 and 2, but I have not played it. So, you know, those characters, like you, Bastila, doesn't really hold that much meaning to me. But I'm excited to kind of maybe play it at some point so that I can kind of get into the characters a little bit more and get into their backgrounds and see what they're all about.
Sanely from my crew played it today on our channel. So if you want to see the playthrough and stuff, you can and on YouTube there's full KOTOR playthroughs that you can watch. But yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Mobile was. I can remember which. I can remember which Game Changer was doing it, but I remember seeing something. One of them was playing KOTOR. So there you go.
Yeah, KOTOR is a great story. It's one of the best games of ever. So you should play it if you get a chance. It's it still holds up surprisingly well, and it's actually ported onto a lot of different areas. You can actually play it on mobile now too. So if you want to play it on your cell phone or your tablet or something like that, you can do that too. But it's still a great game. It's just again, graphics wise, it's not what you see in today's games. It's not Halo or anything like that. But it'll. If you like story and the ability to kind of control your own destiny in a game, it's a great game.
Yeah, I've got them through Steam. KOTOR 1, I have to adjust the graphics a bit because my computer is too good for it because of how old it is and stuff. But I can play KOTOR 2 on there for now. But yeah, I need to. Somebody told me, oh yeah, this is what you need to do to adjust it. I went, oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Avinash gets a point for a humble brag.
I get a point for a humble brag. What did I do? What was that?
My computer is too good.
Oh no. Well, you consider how old the game is.
I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
he's not
it's
kidding.
just Well,
I actually played it when these characters were starting to be released. I had no idea who Bastila was. I had no idea who Juwani and Joe. So it was cool. And I'll tell you, Juwani looks almost identical to the way she did in the game.
And now he's got what he did is he just took his Panthro doll from back in the day and just put a ponytail on him, and now he's got a Juhani doll.
Indeed. Panthro. All right, Jay Solo. Does it look like Revan will be good in Heroic Sith? No. Can't land debuffs in the Heroic Sith, and they're immune to tenacity down. So it'll be tough. Maybe. Who knows? I don't want to say no, but I think
he could be good. It just it depends on what phase.
I think that is one bright spot. If you guys did get Revan and you're upset you just got him, and you're not gonna get the new Darth Revan, you will be able to dominate your P2 or whatever phase really in the raid with your light side Revan. For the foreseeable future, that's going to be a top 3 team for the Sith raid for a very, very long time. So, just continue to work on that, I guess. We don't know. We don't know what this kid is. So
he could still be not good. I doubt it, but he could still be not good.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
He could be totally lame, and yet all the characters around him are going to be what carry him.
All the characters around him could be great. He could be General Grievous.
You could put a black robe on Biggs and call him Darth Revan. He'd be awesome with Bastila.
Yeah, that's true.
Takedown Games. Visa's ever going to get an Old Republic tag so she can be in a Karth team. Could put her in for Juani and she can revive. She doesn't really need an Old Republic tag. She's in my Karth team already, so she's excellent in that team.
Does she deserve an Old Republic tag? yes. Will she get one? Absolutely not.
I think she would have gotten one by now or sometime very, very, like in the next couple weeks, but I don't think so. She does fit on that team very well.
Would be cool. It would make the team better, yeah, for sure.
Anybody else have thoughts on Visas and Old Republic team? Okay, we'll move on to the next one.
I mean, you know, I think that she works against Sith. I mean, she's really just primarily anti-Sith, you know, but so, I mean, you know, she might be a benefit to have, especially now that Sith are going to be coming back into the forefront here again. But, you know, again, just, you know, it depends on how overpowered this Darth Revan team is.
Yeah, you know, one of the weaknesses of that Karth team is how squishy, you know, Mission and Karth are. They're kind of suspect to AoE. And if you do use Visas, stack her with tenacity, lots and lots of tenacity. You can't like half butt it with 80%. You need lots of tenacity. She will counter, and then she'll cleanse some teammates. You know, a lot of people do try to go for the buff immunity on Zalbar, you know, stun or something. Ordo, she will cleanse them. It's okay. It's better than having to gear Juani to gear 12 temporarily. We might all have Juani at gear 12 soon on this event. I hope not. Hopefully gear 10 like Ranger predicts.
Gear 12 Juhani, man.
Blech. I was really excited about her. Her damage output is just not at all what I was hoping for.
I agree. I agree.
It's like not there. It's not existing.
100% offense, swooping in for 12k crits. Come on, man.
She does not hit hard. Yeah, she's like General Kenobi. You know, General Kenobi don't hit hard either, but at least he calls in assist and does all that other cool stuff. You know, so. But
DSP.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, but General Kenobi, you know, he hits like a feather. So same idea.
DSP. A guy using Ray's Falcon. Can we give the guy a shout out? I should have read this one first. Shout out to the guy using Ray's Falcon.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shout out to the guy using Ray's Falcon for sure.
Try to trick him. Try a little trickery. And we just had one more come in here. Scott Maldonado. Do you think Malik is coming, or will they move on from KOTOR? It would seem odd for them not to have Malik. We did talk about this a bit. I think Malik's coming some form. Can't really do this entire game and this entire faction without Malik.
I don't think it's soon. I don't think.
I think they're going to squeeze as much as they can out of it before they release Malik. Because if Malik is supposed to be sort of like end game for that game, then they're going to squeeze whatever they can out of it first, and then drop them and then move on.
I can't imagine us getting any more KOTOR characters this year after this Revan event. I think that'll be the end of it, and I think that Malik may return to the he may return to the swirling news. He may return to the game or come into the game sometime next year. Maybe as like the KOTOR character or the Sith character for, let's say, February or March next year, like kind of like Nihilus and Scion were the previous 2 years. So I think that would be it. I think he'll probably be a character next year. I think they got a lot of stuff they got to cover towards the end of the year here. I think this will be the end of the Old Republic for this year.
I think that's all the questions, guys. I'm pretty sure I got them all.
All right. Well, so we're going to go ahead. Yeah, maybe Malk will be used to unlock Revan Reborn. You know, that'd be cool. But maybe Malk will come out with the Eternal Twins, Ranger.
Great.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. I appreciate everybody sticking it out with us on this Monday night stream, makeup stream for last night. I was sick. We'll be back again on Sunday, hopefully with some more news about the Revan event. I have a feeling it's going to drop on the 21st. They had a trailer that dropped with initial date of the 21st, and they made a post saying that that's not real. I think that they just kind of dropped their pants. I think it is real, okay? I think it's the 21st, but they didn't want you to know that, so they'll probably release that information in the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm sure. You know, again, I don't have any definitive answer on that, but if they drop the kit reworks for HK and Bastila today, I think that we're not too far away from them dropping the date for the Revan event, if not just dropping the Revan event that night. You know, they'll probably say...
No!
They'll probably say, oh, tonight, Revan event, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, good luck. You know, so be prepared for that.
Right.
It's probably coming in the next, couple hours, the next couple of days. So just be ready. It's probably going to be, before the end of the week. So, yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys next week. And if you guys, get a chance, go check out Maurice and TMoney stream tomorrow night on the Operation Metaverse channel. They'll be streaming at 9:30 Eastern time on the Operation Metaverse channel. There's a link in the description. Also, make sure to check out Ranger Infinity's RSG weekly stream on Wednesday night at, is it 8:30 p.m. Ranger, 8 p.m.?
8 p.m. Eastern, yeah.
8 p.m. Eastern time. There's also a link in the description for that as well. So click on that to get to the Reality Skewed Gamers channel. Make sure you subscribe to their live stream weekly as well. But we'll be live on Saturday for the Jedi Academy, and hopefully we'll be talking some Revan. So check you guys out there, and may the Force be with you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Good night, everybody.